The Type 64 is a Chinese Tier 6 premium light tank. More than 50 of these vehicles were produced in Taiwan. All basic components of the vehicle were based on the American vehicles. The Hellcat turret was mounted on the chassis of the M42 anti-aircraft vehicle, and the armament was the well-proven M1A2 gun. Only one Type 64 prototype survives today. And before we get into some gameplay, let's just see the pros and cons of this vehicle and the reasons why you should buy or not to buy this tank. So the vehicle has excellent accuracy on the move, and it also has the best view range on the Tier 6 light tanks. Furthermore, it is a very mobile machine, with the ability to turn in place. And the great mobility comes also with great top speed. And to top that all off, the tank has superb gun depression. But not everything is that great on this tank. Even though the gun handling is pretty good on the tank, the low ammo capacity makes it hard to make it to the end of the game. Furthermore, the slow turret rotation makes it pretty hard to circle around enemy tanks. Active spotting with this tank is pretty difficult due to its large size. Armor-wise, you can say that this tank has no armor, and it is very vulnerable to HE shells. And you would also argue that the open turret doesn't help there. As any other premium vehicle, you are going to train your crew in this tank, but keep in mind the Type 64 has one crew member more, and that's the radio operator. In World of Tanks, this is a Tier 6 premium light tank, but let's see how it fares in some gameplay. Hello guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. As you can see, today we'll be driving the Chinese Tier 6 light tank. It's the Type 64, and driving the Type 64 for us is Branko. So he's matched up with two T-37s, or platooned up with two T-37s. And well, I must say at the beginning of the game, this is probably not the best platoon that you would like to have. So there's a problem with the current matchmaking. Well, it's not a problem, the matchmaking works as it works. So if you get to a light tank, you are going to get to higher tier games. Usually the light tanks don't get the standard matchmaking. They usually get the matchmaking of a medium tank that is one tier higher. So taking three light tanks, taking three Tier 6 light tanks is not that great, because you are effectively not going to get into your matchmaker, you're not going to get into Tier 6, and you're not going to be top tier. You are usually always going to be at the bottom of the tiers, so yeah, that is something that you should consider when taking the tanks that you would like to take. But apparently the Wargaming is deciding to change the matchmaker, so they have announced that the matchmaker is going to be different for the top tier light tanks, and you're going to get the Tier 10 top tier light tanks, so to say. So that would help with the matchmaking as well. But we just have to wait for that until the Wargaming does that, and until that time maybe consider not taking so many light tanks in your games. Or at least if you're taking one light tank, you should take tank destroyers or something like that that can really help out for the spotting. That's me like rambling here, and the game is going on. So brankomadza and his friendly T-37s decided to take the northern side of the Sand River map. As you can see, they were trying to push up through the D line and through the 0 line, where both of the T-37s are. And brankomadza decided to go back, and he is really frustrated. Take a look at the friendly team. They have a lot of Tier 8 tanks, and most of the Tier 8 tanks are basically camping base. So only Tier 8 tank that is trying to do something is the IS-6. The IS-6 is pushing up, fighting with the MX-CDC on the other side, and the rest of the tanks are just waiting to get spotted in the base and shot down by the massive army that is advancing on this side. So there are a lot of tank destroyers, and when you are in your light tank, you should always try and find the shots, well, not find the shots, try and find the spots on the enemy tanks that are trying to advance. So that's what brankomadza is doing here. He is trying to provide vision for the tank destroyers. If the tank destroyers are going to camp base, the only thing he can do to help in a, well, it's a Tier 8 matchup, and he is in a Tier 6 tank, so he is on the bottom of the food chain. What he can do is just try and spot on the enemy tanks, and maybe put a couple of shots like into this Scorpion G. Also, well, he's not going to fight off the large force that is advancing from this side, so he decides to stick around just a little bit, maybe find a shot or two, and then just go away, just leave the base for the enemies to get overrun. Now you might say that's a bad thing, but it's not that bad when you consider that he is in a light tank. He should be trying to spot and he should be trying to flank, and that's what he is going to do now. Now the problem is they have 2 artillery, they have 1 tank destroyer and 1 medium tank left. So that's the core of the enemy defenses, and well, he and the T-37, take a look at this ISU, he was camping the red line. So he and the T-37 are trying to advance to the sides and the back of the enemy tanks. Maybe they can go for the enemy base, maybe cap, maybe take out the artillery, or do something like that. Now brankomadza is doing a good thing here. He spots the Jagdpanther 2. He's shooting through the treetop of this tree in front of him, so the Jagdpanther 2 is not going to spot him from this position, and you can see that he is doing massive damage. I already talked in the introduction about the gun and the gun handling. 0.4 accuracy. Unfortunately not enough penetration here to go through the frontal plate of the Jagdpanther 2, and the Jagdpanther 2 was angling pretty nicely there at the end. He did receive like 4 or 5 shots from brankomadza, and in a quick succession I believe this tank reloads pretty quickly. So you should be careful when you are getting engaged by the Type 64, because even though the shells don't do much damage, it's 115 I believe with each shell, you are going to it counts up, it gets up to decent amount of damage at the end. Now he shuts down the Jagdpanther 2. That was a crucial kill at this point, because that Jagdpanther 2 had everything in the base on the platter and he could kill them easily. So yeah, he and his friendly T-37 are left here to fight against the Steurer Meal, and I believe there's the Hummel in the base. Steurer Meal kills the T-37, the enemy tanks on the other side killed the friendly artillery, so it is brankomadza here against the Hummel and against the Steurer Meal. The Hummel fires, and you can see that he is using the light tank as he should use the light tank. So he is circling out the Hummel. Hummel really cannot do much there. He tried to snapshot, he didn't hit him, and well, this is the kill for brankomadza. So he is capping, but there comes the Emil, so he needs to go forward and do the same, basically the same thing that he did to the Hummel. Puts 1 shot, 2nd shot in, and now he has the back of the Emil, so the Emil is done for. Only a couple of shots here needed, and yeah, that's the 3rd kill for brankomadza. So he cannot cap, it is only a matter of time when the another enemy tank gets into the cap and he will lose, so needs to go back and to defend. And well, he's in a light tank, that's a good thing, he is pretty mobile, he can go forward, defend, and well, he can get there in time. This is a standard battle mode, so he still has 50 seconds to go there and basically try and defend. You can see that the enemy OI, I believe it's the OI, is pushing on the last known artillery, so brankomadza is left here 1 versus 3, and well, they are heavy tanks and tank destroyers, so he needs to be pretty careful. One thing going for him is the mobility, the second thing is the great view range that you get on these tanks, so you should be able to spot them from this position here. Now 19 seconds left, he is going in, and now he's shooting at the Jagdtiger. I don't know why he fired at the Jagdtiger first. Now shooting at the Tier 6 heavy tank. I believe that he wanted to do some damage. Oh, I have to say this was a mistake. He should have kept behind the ridgeline here. He could have just poked out his nose and put a couple of shots in the Jagdtiger and the Type 6 heavy. But he was lucky there not to get shot 2 times by the Jagdtiger and, well, not to die basically. So yeah, he resetted, and now he has 1 minute to figure out what he is going to do and how he is going to win this game. Even, well, he's going to try and win this, so you'll just have to wait till the end of the game and see if he does that. So good thing here is, once again, he is in a good position to aim on the enemy tanks. He can spot them, they cannot spot him. It's pretty important at this point because, as you can see, he is ripping apart that Type 6 heavy, and now he is going for the OI. The problem with the OI is that he doesn't have enough penetration to penetrate the OI, so he should be shooting, yeah, somewhere like that, into the OI, puts one in, and I don't know what he's doing here now, but I think that he's trying to run away from the Jag Tiger that was advancing to this position. So yeah, there's the Jag Tiger, he needs to move, he needs to be quick, not allow the Jag Tiger to shoot him. Oh, that was close, that just flew on the top of the tank. The Jag Tiger is still pushing on him, he is now moving into the OI's position. OI misses, he is going for the Jag Tiger, doing the same thing that he did to the Emil and the Hummel. Finds the side of the Jag Tiger, finds the back of the Jag Tiger, the OI misses, and now he is 1 versus 1 on the OI. I believe he can heal him with one shot. Yep, the OI has 100 HP, so one shot should be enough to kill the OI. But as I said, the problem is that the OI has enough armor at the front. I believe it's 200, so even if brankomadza is firing premium shells, he cannot penetrate the OI. 177mm of penetration, really not enough to go through the armor of the OI. And he needs to do something because there is only 20 seconds left here. And the OI resets. I don't know why the OI reset this, but thanks OI, he gave us some more time to think about what we are going to do next. Now I like what he is doing here. Take a look at the OI. The OI is following where brankomadza is going, and brankomadza turns around, goes towards the other side. He can always spot the OI, you know that, because he has better view range, and he is keeping the OI spotted at every moment. So brankomadza went to right side, turned back around, went to the left side. Now he is in a good position here, and take a look where the OI is looking at. He is looking at the wrong side. That's a 6 kill for Branko. That's a GG, and let's take a look at the post-game stats. So at the end, a quick summary, really important: Deefnder medal, Top Gun medal, and of course the Mastery Badge Ace Tanker. On team score sheet we can see that he finished first with 1583 experience, 6 kills and 2700 damage. On the detailed report we can see that he fired 40 shots, of which 34 hit the target and 25 penetrated. And with the standard account he didn't score much credits because he was firing a couple of premium shells. And as always, at the end, a quick summary of the gameplay that we saw. Now before I get into that, I just want to say, when you are making your platoons, take into consideration that when you are taking light tanks, you are not going to help that much to your team. I know it can be a lot of fun to run around in 3 light tanks, but basically at the end you are making your team weaker, so think about that. Now for the gameplay of the Type 64, Branko did everything that he could to help out his team that was camping in the base and on the red line. When the base was threatened to be overrun, he made a good choice to get out of there, just flank on the enemy tanks and try and win from the other side. At the end this proved out to be the best choice, as he was able to finish off the enemy tanks that were in the enemy base, and also at the end, with the clever use of the tank and the abilities of the tank, he was able to fight it out with the 3 enemy tanks that were equal or higher tier than him. A great demonstration of the skill at the end. As always, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, leave a dislike. Leave a comment what you think about the Type 64 gameplay in this replay. Also, if you don't know what to watch next, you can watch the previous video with the T10, where we are talking about the characteristics of the tank and the positioning on the map. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you can do it now. Hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you in the next one.